Girls, I'm going to read a nonfiction book, Life Cycle Worms. It was written by Robin Nilsson. Look at that real worm. You can see all the body parts that we have identified on our diagram of a worm. Look at the worms. Look at the worm. I should hold this up a little bit closer. Look at all those worms. When I see worms like that, I think of fishing, because that's what we use, and you can get really good crappies when you use worms, and sunfish too. A worm is an animal that lives in the soil. How does a worm grow? Good question. Maybe we'll answer some of our wonderings with this book. Oh my goodness, this is so interesting. A worm starts as an egg inside a tiny cocoon. Remember, they are stored in the clitellum. The worm hatches. Look at it hatching. Oh my goodness. We just have to look at that picture a little bit. The baby worm is thin and white. See that baby worm? If you've ever found worms that are like that size, you know it's a baby worm. Worms do not have eyes or ears. They just don't. That's the way they were made. But worms have a mouth. Oh my gosh, that is a worm's mouth close up. Interesting. Worms eat dirt. We also know that they eat dried leaves. Remember, we found that out in our first book. Worms eat plants. They grow bigger and bigger. Look at that. It's so amazing when I look at worms now and I know all their body parts that I think, oh, I can see that that's part of their body. That's where the baby eggs and the cocoons are. I can see it right, where is it? Right here. Worms make burrows in the ground. They need to stay cool and wet. Oh, I think that question that we have, why are worms slimy? That might be the answer. So they burrow in the ground and they need to stay cool and wet. We also know that they are cold-blooded. They can't get too hot, because if you think about it, when you've seen them after it's rained and they've been on the driveway and they don't get off the driveway, they dry up because they need to stay slimy, wet, and they need to stay cool. And a driveway is a hot place in the summer after the rain clears up. This worm is grown up. It is fun to watch worms. Oh, and there's the diagram of a worm. Let's see what it says about adult worms. The body of a worm is made out of many segments. Remember, those lines are called segments. One segment, the clitellum, makes a cocoon for worm eggs. Worms lay eggs in the spring and fall. The summer can be too hot and dry. In the winter, they tunnel very deep into the ground and they stay there. Oh, I think that's called hibernation. In the spring, they come out again and a new worm life cycle begins. Oh, that's good information too. Well, we'll be doing the new learnings and seeing if we can get anything off our wonderings chart. See you later.